Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy J Cobb, and you're listening to the Cobbcast, a place for like-minded entrepreneurs to connect, share, and grow. And I'm your host, Jermaine Cobbins, where I'll be sharing valuable content to help you to become a better entrepreneur and an all-around better person. We'll be discussing mindset techniques, business strategies, and ways to help take your life and business to the next level. So whether you're driving right now, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, go ahead and turn your speakers up, sit back, and let's ride. Yo, what's going on, guys? J Cobb in the building. Welcome to the Cobbcast. This is episode 3, and man, I hope you guys have been enjoying these episodes as much as I have. And look, if this is your first time actually catching the Cobbcast episodes, I actually appreciate you guys actually listening, taking this moment. But you're in for a treat, all right? In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to shift your income in less than 12 months, all right? So first and foremost, guys, quick disclaimer, all right? This is in no way, shape, form, or fashion any type of financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for education and entertainment purposes. All right. But the shit does work. All right. Let's get that clear. All right. The shit works, man. And here's the thing. Maybe you're in a situation right now where you feel like, you know, Jermaine, I'm swamped by debt. You know, I may have some life issues going on. You may just lost your job. You may be starting a new job. Whatever the case may be, guys, listen, man. After listening to this actual episode, you're going to have a total different belief system around your money and the things that you can actually achieve. And, you know, I just actually learned something about 2 weeks ago, and I've been excited to actually record this episode because something hit me about 2 weeks ago, which I'm going to share later, and it just had me smiling, guys. Like, it had that feeling like, oh, man, you know what? This is actually possible, right? So I had a tough time of coming up with the title for this video because, you know, I didn't want to discourage anyone. I didn't want to make anyone, you know, say, okay, this is something that's not attainable, right? And I wanted to go with the title, Can an Ordinary Person Be a Millionaire? And I had to like stop for a minute. So you know what, Jermaine? Everybody don't believe that they can be a millionaire. Right? They may want to be a millionaire, or they may have this idea of what a millionaire lifestyle is, but yet they disqualify themselves and they don't believe that they can actually do it because of their current situations, or maybe just some of the beliefs and upbringings that they was taught, right? So I want to debunk a lot of that in this actual episode, guys. So look, before we even get started, man, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Depending on where you're watching this at, guys, I'm going to have some pretty cool resources that I will be mentioning throughout this episode in the description below. Be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to leave your biggest takeaway. And if you really enjoy this episode, guys, be sure to hit that share button. All right. Can you guys do that for your boy? All right. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Like I said, this right here is going to be really, really informative, and I'm gonna try to make it where it's not too far over your head. It's not so much as out of your reach, and anybody can literally listen to this episode here and walk away with a different mindset and actually start putting the pieces together towards shifting their income, in the next 12 months or so. All right, so let's do it. First thing first, guys, is this: we need to understand that this is a journey, okay? When it comes to changing your income, shifting your mindset, you know, we have this get rich quick type mentality, right? The microwave mentality. And we think that, you know, we can destroy our credit, you know, have really bad saving habits and spending habits and things like that. And we think that, okay, 1 year, 2 years worth of work is just going to wipe all that away. Now, when I say shifting your income in the next 12 months, what I'm saying is you can literally stop all the bad habits and actually swing that momentum forward. Meaning from there, you have a solid foundation to actually controlling your money, seeing more of your money, increasing your income, and just literally getting a lot of these burdens off of your back. I say that, guys, because I done it myself, right? Really, it was about 18 months. And it was a process. It was, a little dreadful, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But there are some things that I learned, and that's why I could say within the next 12 months, right? Because I'm going to really help you guys to shortcut this actual process, okay? This episode here is not going to make you rich, all right? Quick disclaimer, but it's going to stop all the things that has caused bad financial decision making. You probably don't have $1,000 to your name. Maybe you have $100K in the bank account and you just feel like, okay, I don't know what to do with my money. I'm on edge. And of course, at the time of this video, guys, I'm yet to be a millionaire, but I am on my way, right? And I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned, and hopefully you can get some takeaways and apply it in your life as well. All right. So let's talk about what is your freedom number. And a lot of people, when they hear this, it's like they think winning the lottery. They think maybe $1 million, right? But what is your freedom number? And I want to help you to condense this down a little bit. All right. So your freedom number, guys, is simply this. What will allow you to pay all your bills? What will allow you to save, 30, 40% of your income, right? And what will allow you to basically do the things you want to do in your life, okay? And you notice that I said pay your bills, your expenses. Now, I'm not talking about all your debt, your expenses. What does it cost you to live, all right? Then from there, having that same amount, if not more, where you can actually put back towards other savings, potentially investments. And then from there, guys, we want some type of entertainment. We want to do things. We want our toys, right? We want some of that materialistic things, right? So basically, having that freedom number in mind, guys, first of all, it paints a picture in your mind. Now, for some people, their freedom number may be $10K a month. I get it, right? For others, it may be $5K a month, right? It doesn't really matter. The number doesn't matter, but what is your freedom number? So let's get clear on that first. So what you want to do first, guys, is simply figure out, your debt versus your expenses. And the reason why I said debt versus expenses, most people think that their expenses is their debt, and it's not, right? We were taught that bills were a bad thing. Bills are not a bad thing, okay? What happens is that your bills begin to take control of you. Your bills tell your money what it's going to do, right? And the idea, guys, is that your bills is your expenses, but debt is in most cases something that you have created. And we look at debt as somebody else gave us debt, right? Now, I get it. Somebody taught you how to create debt by not teaching you what to do with your money, but you wasn't born into debt, right? When you left your parents' house, you may have a little student loan debt, but for the most part, your credit card, your auto loan, personal loans, furniture, whatever the case may, anything you're paying for, your shopping accounts, these are things that you actually created, right? So first of all, we got to understand what is your debt versus your expenses. Now, I told you guys I did a video, Facebook Live on this the other day, which that video link would be in the description, regardless of where you're watching this at. So you can actually go check that out. It'll actually give you a visual of what I'm talking about. But your debt versus your expenses. See, your debt is anything that can be zeroed out. You can actually pay your debt off. In most cases, your expenses is something that you can't pay off, like your water bill, your lights, cell phone, Wi-Fi, your necessities, grocery. These are expenses. These are things that you're going to have to pay for each and every month regardless. Now, you can get yourself to a place where you can have a little fun with this and say, okay, what is my expenses times 12? When you do that, guys, what it is, you're basically saying, okay, how cool would it be to pay all my expenses or pay all my bills for the year? Like, imagine how much freedom of mind that would give you throughout the year, not just to blow money, but that will allow you to focus on other income producing activities or just focus on being a better version of yourself, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Having these numbers, your debt versus your expenses, first of all, paints a picture where you say, okay, now I know how much it costs per year to actually live. And if you're making double or three times that, you're like, okay, why are these expenses whooping my ass? And typically it's the debt. The debt is the one that's tearing your ass out, right? So how do we eliminate debt? All right. So here's something, guys. It's tried and true, and it has worked for me, and it has worked for other people that I have shared this with. And it's to hell with one of your debts. But you're like, what? Right? To hell with one of your debts. Now, what does this mean? I get it. You know, when you don't pay your bills, when you don't pay certain debt, a lot of that stuff goes into collections. Sometimes they can garnish your wages, whatever the case may be, and then that stuff affects your credit. And the first thing we think of when it comes to certain situations is, well, I don't want to have bad credit. Well, the to hell with one of your debts philosophy or formula, guys, it's basically conditioning your mind to say, okay, once I write out all my debt, what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of your least important debts, right? One of the least important debts that you're actually paying each and every month. And you're going to say to hell with it, right? You're just not going to pay it. But what you're going to do with that extra money, you're going to double up on the next debt. All right. So, for example, here's what I've done. Guys, for many years, student loans was riding my back, and I was actually paying my student loans on time each and every month. And I went and had a motorcycle accident, guys, back in 2007, and I was off work for a few months. Well, when I got back to working, I went about 6 months and I didn't pay my student loan debt. And then once I started back paying my student loan debt, I was getting my statement in. I was realizing like it wasn't going like the bill, the statement, the balance wasn't dropping, right? It was just going towards the interest. So I was like, you know what? Screw this, right? And it was kind of like a reaction. It was never a plan. It was just a reaction. I was like, you know what? Screw this, okay? And I stopped paying them, guys. I literally started calling them up and saying, hey, look, I'm not working. You know, let's do a deferment, whatever the case may be. And I've done that, guys, for years, every 6 months for years. But what I was doing, I took that extra money and I put it on other debt. And it helped me to create this snowball effect of knocking this debt out, guys. And I was able to wiggle myself out of some little small debts that increased my credit score, which I'm going to talk with you guys later on how I was able to leverage multiple banks. Yo, what's going on, guys? J Cobb here. So I hope you're enjoying this episode as much as I am. If so, do me a favor by smashing the like button. Don't forget to share this video out and be sure to leave a comment. Also, if you're ever looking for ways to generate income from home on a shoestring budget, even with limited time, then I'm your guy. There should be some links below in the description, guys. Also, if you're just really loving this Cobbcast episode and you want to contribute, there will be a link below for contributions. Other than that, guys, we're heading back to your Cobbcast episode. Thanks for listening. Okay, and also there's a resource in the description below, guys. It's a budgeting blueprint, and inside that budgeting blueprint is where I show you guys step by step how I was able to leverage different banks to get out of my, situation. All right. So be sure to grab that after this actual episode. But to hell one of your debts, guys, is a mindset. And it's basically saying, you know what? Everything stops here. Right. I'm going to take this debt. I'm going to take one of these debts and I'm just going to put it in the corner. Whatever happens, happen. And I'm going to take this piece of money and I'm going to actually start working on this here. It may be a vehicle you're paying for. Right. If you are able to, let that car go back, hell, let it go back. If you could free up $300, $400, $500, let it go back, right? Guess what? In 2 months, you can go buy a piece of shit car that'll get you from point A to point B cash by not paying that car note for 2 months. Let it go back. Once you get you a piece of shit car, now you can take that extra cash flow and use it towards other debt. You may have a credit card debt right now that's sitting at $1,000, right? But you can't pay it because you got this car note or you got other things you have going on. So you may have to sacrifice your car, right? So it doesn't matter what it is. You have to make the decision. Say, you know what? To hell with one of my debts. All right. Now, here's the thing, guys. How much does your debt free you up? Okay. You're only going to know this by going off what we talked about earlier, and that's setting up your debt versus your expenses. Okay, you got to write out your debt. But just imagine if all your debt right now was cleared. How much does your debt free you up? And most people, they don't really like stop to think like, okay, if I'm paying, $6, $7, $8, $1,500 a month towards debt, whether it's cars, loans, anything, they never really think of how much money they will save or free up by getting rid of their debt. Just by doing this, guys, it's going to give you this sense of urgency, because you're like, wow, like, man, I didn't know I'm working all this overtime, or I'm working these multiple jobs, or I'm doing this just to pay my debt. If my debt was gone, I'd be okay with one job, right? I may not have to work as many hours. So let's get clear on how much does your debt free up. Because if you don't have much debt, maybe you are saving pretty good. Maybe you got a nice little nest egg. We got to get that money invested into something that's going to give you some cash flow. All right. Is this making sense, guys? So let me know if this is making sense to you guys. All right. So the reason why I changed this title to How to Shift Your Income in Less Than 12 Months is I wanted to make it something where it would get your attention, okay? And if I get your attention, you feel like you can do it, right? If I title this, How to Be a Millionaire, or whatever the case may be, like you probably wouldn't have clicked on it. You probably wouldn't have watched it, right? But shifting your income will allow you to basically create whatever you want your income to be or your lifestyle to be. So I want each and every one of you guys to do something for a minute, all right? I want you to think right now, if you were giving $1 million, what would you do? Okay, now, once again, let's say $1 million is outside of your capacity, right? Let's say you can't imagine $1 million. Let's just say 100,000, okay? So between 100,000 and $1 million, it was deposited into your account right now. You check your phone, open your account, boom, you got $1 million, or boom, you got 100K. Here's my question to you. What would be the first 3 things you would do with that money? What would be your first 3 actions? Now, most people, when they think of this, the first thing they're going to think of is, well, I'm going to pay my debt off, right? You're probably thinking like, well, shit, I go pay my debt off, right? But let me ask you something. Did you consider that there may be some taxes involved with this 100K or even this 1 million, right? So just for the sake of it, let's just say 40%, right? We're going to play on the high side. Let's say 40% of this is wiped out. As soon as you put the 100K in, guess what? Uncle Sam comes get his 40%. So right there, you're already, 40 grand off, right? Or 400 grand off if you had the 1 million. So now you only have 60% of your income to deal with. Guess what, guys? This is real life situations. But the more you get your mind set on these things, the less these encounters will affect you, right? So right now you got 60K. Right now you have, $600,000, right? What would you do? Right. And this is the thing, guys. So many people will go try to pay that debt. But let me tell you, when you pay that debt first, you're going to have some impulse buying. You're going to go buy your car. You're going to go buy a house. You're going to go do these things. Well, guess what, guys? Whether you pay cash or not, you will eventually be back in the same situation. Why? Because you have the same thinking. Your thinking is why you're where you at. Your thinking is the reason you're dealing with what you're dealing with. So the only way to change this is to change your thinking, guys, okay? So the first thing is, guys, let's stop for a minute and let's think. You're right. If 100K was deposited, if $1 million was deposited, first of all, let's think. All right. You got to pay taxes. From there, guys, let's focus on what can we do to keep this money long term. Right? You may simply cut the money in half from there. Cut the money in half, put it in some type of investment fund, mutual fund, Roth. You may want to, get into some real estate, whatever. What can we do to keep this money long term? How can this money make money for us? And just shifting that mindset, guys, I'm telling you, this can happen with the money that you have right now, because most people, they think debt first. When they get paid, they're already calculating their debt and their bills first. That's your money telling you what to do instead of you telling your money what to do. Does this sound familiar? Right? Guys, I was in this situation myself not very long ago. I was in over $30,000 worth of debt, guys, and my money was literally telling me what to do each and every paycheck, each and every month, right? And I just got to a point, guys, where I just got sick and tired of it, man. I mean, I was literally fed up. And of course, some of the process that I took is in the actual budgeting blueprint that I actually linked in the comments below or in the description below. But guys, I had to really make a commitment and say, okay, I was the one that created this shit. I'm the one gonna have to get myself out. So many people think someone else done something to them. They think that someone is going to come help them out of their situation. If someone paid all your debt off today, within the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to be back in the same situation or worse. So the best thing to do is to take that time right now, guys, regardless of where you're at, what you're dealing with, and put yourself in a position to say, okay, I got to change my mindset. And, you know, I've been through many books, guys. So for those that don't read, that's cool. There are audio versions. But, guys, I stumbled upon this book a few years back called The Total Money Makeover by Ramsey. All right. And amazing book, guys. Amazing book. It was spot on. And I was just starting to read. But the reason why I picked up that book, because it was a book talking about debt. And of course, I've been through other multiple books of marketing and persuasion and copyright and all these things. But yet still, I still like invest my money and time into reading books about finances and taxes and how to build wealth, whether, you know, it's a slow process or whether it's, you know, to make money fast, right? But across this book, guys, by Chris Hogan, which he's business partners with Dave Ramsey, it's called Everyday Millionaires. And I linked that in the description below as well. But guys, Everyday Millionaires is a book that really just had that epiphany for me. And remember, I mentioned earlier where about 2 weeks ago I had this epiphany, guys. I was just smiling. Well, I just recently learned, guys, that a millionaire doesn't have to have $1 million in their bank account. Now, I know, you know, for a while, I remember coming upon a guy's video, and he was saying, you know, you need to have $1 million in your bank account. You need to have $1 million in liquid. You need to have $1 million in assets, right? In cash flow. You need to be making, you know, $1 million annually, right? It was a couple of things that you need to be doing to acquire yourself as a millionaire. Well, I think that's a little bit of a myth, okay? And maybe you guys, you know, want to argue on this, but it made sense to me, and that's why I'm sharing it. But I crossed something where it said that your net worth, right? Your net worth is what you own minus what you owe. And that hit for a minute. And what it was saying is, if you had assets, whether you had a home that was paid for, let's say you had a few vehicles, let's say you had a few rental properties, whatever the case may be, and if that collectively were all paid off, and let's say they were valued or appraised at over $1 million, technically you are a millionaire, right? You may not have $1 million in the bank account, you right? But the idea is that you have $1 million net worth. And that was a light bulb moment for me, guys. I was like, you know what? Wow, like I'm actually closer than I think, because I was on the path trying to get to $83,000 a month, right? Trying to get, you know, between $83,000 and $100K, so I can one day be a millionaire. But I realized, I was like, oh man, I can be classified as that millionaire way sooner because of my asset allocations, right? Because of my portfolio. And I was like, whoa, this is heavy, man. So that was a light bulb moment. And maybe some of you guys listening right now might have had that moment, you know, just now. But if $1 million scares you, that's okay. Let's focus on your debt. Let's focus on getting you consumer debt free. If you're a homeowner and you're consumer debt free, you know, you're working towards getting that mortgage paid for, you know, like what I'm currently doing. Let's focus on getting you totally debt free. Guys, these things, consumer debt free, being totally, you know, debt free, these are some amazing feelings. But when you get there, it's no easier. It's hard for me right now not to go and get that brand new car. It's hard for me to not go get that brand new Harley Davidson. It's hard for me to do certain things right now because I am consumer debt free. So the work doesn't end once you become consumer debt free. It's actually just as harder staying here. But this is good conditioning because once I get to a millionaire status or $10 million, whatever the case may be, I gotta make sure I'm doing the same thing, make sure I have the same thinking as to how can I maintain my wealth, right? So guys, I hope you guys got value, man. Like I said, leveraging banks, setting up multiple bank accounts so you can really see your money, guys. This is something that I discussed in the actual budgeting blueprint. You guys should find that in the description. Then we're gonna really go into detail on this actual podcast. I just want to kind of keep it condensed, and I hope you guys really got value, man. I enjoy sharing things like this, and let me know what was your biggest takeaway. All right, so other than that, peeps, I will see you guys on the next episode. It's your boy J Cobb. Be humble, be consistent, be you.